We have a plant here that builds typewriter parts. Now this large manufacturer of typewriters has put a plant in Mexico, and they're hiring women for $3 a day, $15 a week, turning out the same parts that our American people are being laid off here in Menominee Falls.
Incredible as it sounds, they get a tax break that's more favorable to them investing overseas than they do investing here at home. We need to encourage surplus capital to invest here. I think this one of the big prices we've paid for this $80 billion defense establishment of ours is that we're funneling our best research and development brains into making sure we have the best tanks and the best missiles and the best aircraft carriers. Meanwhile, the Japanese, who only spend 1% of their gross national product on national defense, are investing their best brains in developing new industrial products that are very competitive. That's another reason to cut back on the numbers of people and resources we're funneling into the Pentagon and begin even subsidizing development of research and new techniques and new plants and new ways of production so that we can get back into competition with the Germans and the Japanese.
And this is in no way fair. Talk fair, well, business, they say, well, business isn't fair. You're supposed to take care of yourself. Where is something going to happen to our particular type of a business? And I believe you have a lot of small businessmen who are holding this all in and not bringing it out. The conglomerate is the one that's going to take over.
There has been a steady concentration of more and more economic power in the hands of fewer and fewer conglomerates. That's really what the ITT case was all about. You had a clear case developed in the antitrust division of the Department of Justice. And yet, because of various political pressures, that merger was allowed to go through, and every day, smaller, moderate, independent-sized businesses are being gobbled up by the conglomerates. So I think what is needed is a new commitment and maybe a louder outcry demanding that antitrust actions be enforced and that the independent businessman be protected. That's really the purpose of antitrust legislation.
You talk about tax loopholes. Can you specify what some of those loopholes are?
Well, I certainly think we ought to repeal those accelerated depreciation increases that were added last year. You really can't justify that. That's really a bonanza. Also, on the oil depletion and mineral depletion allowances, I think we've carried that too far. Some of the other tax shelters benefit very high-income people at the expense of people in the middle. And I really think that the people in this room are probably paying a heavier tax burden because we have too many loopholes in the law at the top. I paid 1/3 of my income in taxes last year. I'm not complaining about it. I published it so that people would know where my income derived from and also how I spent it. And I don't mind paying 1/3 of my income in federal taxes until I read where somebody who's making 10 times as much as I am paid nothing. And that's what infuriates a lot of these working people that I see in the factories and the shops around this country. They read reports where multimillionaires are paying at 5 or 6% rate, and they're paying at a 14 to 20% rate as working people. And that's what disturbs a lot of people.
Senator, is that what's called fuzzy on economics?
It may be, but it's what I believe.
McGovern, Democrat, for the people. The people are paying for this campaign with their hard-earned dollars. Send what you can to McGovern for President, Washington, D.C.